Wuthering Waves is an open-world, free-to-play action RPG gacha game developed by Kuro Games. I've been playing this game for 8 days, and in this video I'm gonna talk about what the game is, the mechanics, the characters, the ecosystem, and the progression. So I don't want to waste your time, so let's just get to it with some of the basic stuff like the story. So you start off by choosing a male or a female protagonist, and then you are dumped into this world of Solaris 3. From then, you are meeting new characters, learning about the world, the people of Jinzhou, and this sentient dragon being called Jue. The characters you meet throughout are really interesting. They have their own distinct personalities. They're pretty likable. Now, the story isn't finished or anything. That comes with being somewhat of a live service game, I guess. The more updates we get, the more content there will be in the game. So what you're doing beside playing the story is wandering around the map. The map is really well designed, it's really fun to explore, fun to look at. There is a lot of stuff to do in the world too. There are teleporters to unlock, collectibles to collect, and it's packed with chests. Sometimes enemies will be guarding the chest, then you're gonna have to kill them to get that chest. And sometimes chests will be behind puzzles. You're gonna have to solve the puzzle to get that chest. The puzzles are also well designed. They do have enough variety that it doesn't get repetitive easily and it keeps things interesting. So aside from chests, there are challenges to complete that involve parkouring or fighting enemies. So if you are someone who likes exploration, this game has a lot to offer. And it does feel worthwhile to explore since it'll give you a lot of the gacha currencies and materials needed to upgrade and ascend your characters. Now that some of the basic stuff is out of the way, let's just move on to the combat. There's a lot to talk about the combat. So first off, you can have up to 3 characters in one team, and you can cycle between them, and they have different abilities and different roles in a team. So each character has their basic attacks and 2 unique abilities, Resonance Skill and Resonance Liberation. Resonance Skill is a cooldown based ability that you can use, and after a set amount of time has passed you can use it again. Different characters will have different usage for this skill. For example, Jian will thrust forward and do a bit of damage. Baija will heal the team. Resonance Liberation is the ultimate ability of each character, so as you attack and use your skills, you will get Resonance Energy, and as you get Resonance Energy, Resonance Liberation bar will fill up, and once it's full, you can use that ability. Resonance Liberation is also something that every character has different of, obviously. In the case of Jian, he transforms his attacks into this heavy dragon thing. In the case of Baija, again, she heals because she's a healer. Another essential combat mechanic is outro skills and intro skills. So just like Resonance Liberation, there is a small bar in the left side of your health bar which will fill up as you use your abilities and attack. And the energy you get to fill up this bar is called Concerto Energy. And once that's full, you will get an indication to swap your characters. So if you swap to a different character while this effect is triggered and your character icons are shining, the character leaving the field will trigger an outro skill, and the character taking field will trigger their intro skill. Like every other ability in the game, outro and intro skills also vary depending on the character and what role they're supposed to fill. Like this guy will give 38% heavy attack damage deepen to the next character taking field as he leaves the field. The main character will slow the enemy, and this guy will do damage as you swap to a different character. The abilities I just talked about are all outro skills. This is something that triggers when the on-field character reaches maximum Concerto energy, and then you swap to a different character. And the character you swapped to will trigger their intro skill. Most of the intro skills in this game are basically damage, so there isn't much to talk about, but some characters do have passives that increase their damage after they trigger an intro skill. Another ability that every character has is a forte ability. If you look above your HP bar, you will see this bar. It's called a forte gauge. As you attack, use your skill, and use your ultimate, you will gain forte stacks. Each character has different ways to generate forte stacks as well as different usage of it. If you look at this guy, he needs to use his resonance skill 3 times to generate 3 forte stacks. And when he has 3 forte stacks, he can consume them by doing a heavy attack, and the heavy attack will be enhanced. And in the case of this lady here, she can generate forte stacks by using her ultimate, doing normals, or using her skill, and she can consume her forte stacks by also using heavy attack to create a shield. And if you look at the main character, he generates his forte stacks by using heavy attack and consumes them by using his resonance skill and following it up with a basic attack. So how combat works is you are using these abilities to heal, buff, or directly deal damage to the enemy. You can dodge enemy attacks, you can even parry some of them. You do need to practice the dodging and parrying as they are pretty tight. You have to time it right or you will just get obliterated. Depending on the game mode you're playing, bosses can and will one-shot you. So you're gonna have to get used to these mechanics of parrying, dodging, and using all of the abilities that I just mentioned so you can actually beat them. To talk about the characters themselves, every character will have an attribute type and a weapon type. An attribute type determines what type of damage they do, so you're gonna have to keep that in mind as you build them. You can level up a character using these materials. Every character will share these materials, so you're gonna have to make a choice between who you really want to build. And once a character reaches a certain level, you're gonna have to ascend them using ascension materials. You can also level up their different abilities such as basic attacks, resonance skill, resonance liberation, their forte skill, and intro skills. If you look at weapons, there are different weapons with different substats and different passives. You will need to understand what a character does and scales from, and choose a weapon accordingly to maximize their potential. You can also level up your weapons using weapon level up materials, and just like characters, when a weapon reaches a certain level, you're gonna have to ascend them using weapon ascension materials. Now, how do you get all of these materials I just mentioned? You can get them by doing quests and opening chests, but most of the time what you're gonna have to do is complete different domains that contain these materials. Each domain will have a different material, so you will have to do the one that you need the material from. And to get character ascension materials, you will need to defeat bosses and claim their rewards. Characters will need different boss materials depending on their attribute type, so you will have to defeat the one you need the material of. Now, to claim all these rewards from domains and bosses, you will need to use your wave plates. Now, these wave plates are finite resources. You only get 240 each day, so you do need to make a decision of which character you want to build and what to use your wave plates on. You can't just go and build every single character because every resource is finite. Now I want to talk about the echo system. So every time you defeat an enemy, there is a chance they will drop an echo. You can absorb that echo and equip it on your characters. Once you equip an echo, you can use an echo attack. Echo attacks will depend on which enemy you got the echo from, and echo abilities also have cooldowns. You can equip up to 5 echoes for each characters, but you can only use the attack of the echo on the first slot. But you will get stat bonuses from the other echoes as well. Echoes also have equipment costs depending on the class of the enemy you got them from. Higher class enemies have higher equipment costs, and lower class enemies have low equipment costs. Echoes have different stats, so when you're building echoes for your characters, You need to keep in mind which attribute your character has, as some echoes will give you damage bonuses for a particular attribute, or even 5-piece set bonuses for a particular attribute. There are also different rarity of echoes. The higher rarity an echo is, the stronger it will be. You can also level up echoes using echo leveling up XP materials, and you get these materials by opening chests, doing quests, but mostly by using your wave plates. So you do have to be careful about what you spend your wave plates on. So I talked about how the characters work and how to upgrade them. Now let's talk about how to get those characters. So you will get a few characters just by playing the story, but if you want more characters, that's where the gacha system comes in. First off, you need to know that there are two different rarity of characters, 4 stars and 5 stars. 5 stars being stronger than 4 stars. So basically you get these currencies called astrite, and you can use these currencies to do a convene. So when you do a convene, there is a chance that you will get a 3-star, 4-star or a 5-star item. 3-star items are always gonna be weapons, 4-star items can be weapons, but most of the time if you convene on the character banner, you are gonna get a 4-star character. So every 10 convenes you can guarantee yourself a 4-star character, and every 80 convenes you can guarantee yourself a 5-star character. So there are two different character banners, a limited banner and a standard banner. You should always use your astride on the limited banner, because as you're trying to get that limited 5-star character, there's a 50% chance that you will not get that limited character and get a standard character instead. But if you do get a standard character instead of a limited character, the next 5-star is 100% guaranteed to be a limited 5-star character. There are also two weapon banners, a limited weapon banner and a standard weapon banner. Every 10 convene will guarantee you a 4-star weapon, and every 80 convenes will guarantee you a 5-star weapon. There is no 50-50 system in the weapon banner. You will always get the featured weapon from the weapon banner. It costs 160 astrite to do one convene, so it is pretty steep to get a 5-star character and reach that 80 pity mark. Not to mention there is a chance to miss and get a 5-star standard character, but they do give you a lot of convenes via in-game mail and as a login bonus. But depending on your luck though, you can get 5-star characters early. If you look at my account, I got a 5-star standard character from the limited banner, which means I lost my 50% chance to get a limited character at 54th convene, which means I was 26 convenes early to get a 5-star. So because I got a standard character, now I was guaranteed to have a limited 5-star character, which I got at my 14th convene again, which was 66 convenes earlier to get a 5-star. And on top of that, I got another one at 5, and I won my 50% chance this time. So yeah, if you are lucky, you can have a lot of 5 stars. Or maybe you have the power of the mighty wallet and you can just swipe the card. But if you are like me and you are broke AF, then you are gonna have to get good in this game and play the different game modes. There are 3 different game modes in this game. Firstly, the Tower of Adversity. So in the Tower of Adversity, you have multiple floors, and in each of those floors there will be enemies to fight. There will be a time limit to defeat the enemies. The floors will get harder as you progress through them, as enemies will get higher leveled, so you're gonna have to level your characters accordingly. The other game mode is the hologram bosses. The hologram bosses are a different variation of some of the open world bosses. There are different difficulty levels. As you progress through the difficulty, bosses will get higher leveled and their moveset will change. So you will have to memorize their attack patterns so you can dodge and parry them accordingly. The last game mode is Depth of Elusive Realm. This is like a roguelike game mode. You go through different levels and get different buffs as you progress. As a fan of roguelike games, I really like this game mode. Something that I forgot to mention is your union level. So as you're playing the quests and exploring, you will get union EXP. And union EXP will upgrade your union level. The higher union level you are, the higher your characters can also be leveled up. Another thing is the databank. So as you get more echoes and higher rarity of echoes, your databank will level up, and the higher level your databank is, the higher the chance of an echo drop and higher the chance to get a rarer echo. So with that, I think I have covered most of the main mechanics. Of course, there can always be more detailed information about each of these topics. And as we get more updates, there will also be new stuff added and new information to talk about. But I do hope this video helped you understand how this game works and how the systems work and what this game has to offer in terms of content. Now, to share my opinion, I think this is a great game. The combat system is one of the most fun combat systems I have ever played in a game. I think it's worth giving it a shot and spending some time with it. The game did have a few technical problems, but the developers did fix a lot of it, and they're also working on fixing the ones that are still in the game. So yeah, that was Wuthering Waves, and thank you for listening to me yap about Wuthering Waves. I'll stop yapping now, and maybe we'll see each other again in some other video thing. I don't know, maybe.